her tell you in her own words what happened to the love of her life, Sean McCoe. And after that, we want to explain who Sean is and how that explains what he did. So back to that night. Before everything happened, the two had gone to dinner with friends for their anniversary and decided after they would Uber to a nearby store to get some beer. They debated if they should all go, and Sarah says now she knows why they did.
I watched him raise the gun towards the cashier, and then the two people turn around. I think they were yelling at everyone to get down, and I saw them point the gun at our friends. I could see them from the door because the door was one of those sliding ones. When you walk up, they open, and I could see two of our friends like on the ground and them pointing it at them. And I knew right then, I was like, if he turns around and sees them pointing that gun, he's gonna do something. Like, I knew already, and I was just thinking, like, please just don't. And right as I was thinking that, I saw him come towards them. Once he came from that side, I didn't see him come back up, and I heard the shot. They immediately ran out. They ran out so quick, but I wasn't even focused on them. I was pulling on the Uber door, and I jumped out and I ran in, and it was bad.
We're going to have more from Toronto and what happened that tragic night coming up on News Center at 6.
And Sam, can you tell us more about how McCoe is being remembered today?
Yeah, Lindsay, that's a big part of this. Sarah doesn't want everyone to remember him by the way he died, but the way he lived his life and the sacrifice that he made. At the end of it, he was in the Air Force, he served his country, he loved his family, loved his country, and that's how he's being remembered and honored by everyone who knew him. And we're going to share more of his life and who he was as well, coming up on News Center at 6.
Sam, thank you very much for that. In other headlines tonight, a man from Old Orchard Beach is in jail in connection to the death of his roommate.
Police arrested Dustin Bentley last night. The medical examiner says the roommate, William Popwell, died Monday night of stab wounds and blunt force trauma, meaning he was hit hard with something. State police say the two men knew each other from previous stays at the Oxford Street shelter in Portland, and Bentley and Popwell have been living in an apartment in Old Orchard Beach for the past couple of months.
To the weather we go, and we're counting down the minutes now, right, to spring, Jess, right?
Yeah, we're under an hour, guys. Pretty exciting stuff. The winter has been long, as it usually is in Maine, and it's going to be pretty nice, at least for the rest of today. Tomorrow's going to change a little bit. Look at this. Gorgeous out there, mostly clear skies. That's going to be important tonight. We have a full moon tonight. It's a super moon. Should be nice and bright out there. 41 right now in Portland. A little bit breezy, though, those winds gusting to around 21 miles an hour. Temperatures today, most of us made it into the 40s. 42 was the high today in Bangor, 42 as well in Portland. Bar Harbor made it up to 37. Usually our high temperature is in the low 40s at this time of year. So this is normal. This is what we should be getting pretty much every day. Mostly clear skies. Still a few clouds around, but other than that, not too bad. We will see increasing clouds as we go throughout the day tomorrow. And then, of course, that storm is on the way for Friday and into the day on Saturday. You can see these two systems here. They will be affecting us. Again, it looks like it'll hold off until late tomorrow night, but Friday could get pretty messy. Of course, we'll talk about it all coming up in just a bit, guys.
Yes, indeed. All right, Jess, thanks a lot. We'll see you then. Now to an update on a story we first told you about late last year, a lease for a 40-acre oyster farm. It's met with some resistance at a mid-coast community.
That aquaculture lease is at the center of McCoy Bay, and that's what some fishermen call prime lobster grounds. They fear their space will be taken away to work. A citizens group, Save McCoy Bay, turned in a petition today to the Department of Marine Resources in Augusta with more than 180 signatures. That petition asking the DMR to put an immediate moratorium on all pending aquaculture lease applications greater than 10 acres in size up and down the coast.
Lobstermen have neither the time or resources to protect our livelihoods from the onslaught of new lease applications, resulting in lost fishing grounds and income.
To the lobster fishermen, it feels like it's a runaway train that's at the expense of traditional fisheries.
The Department of Marine Resources needs to review the petition to make sure those signatures are valid. Then it will begin what's called a rulemaking process to potentially draft a proposed rule. That will then go to a public hearing, but a timeline for all of that is unclear right now.
Could take a little while. Now to celebrating heroes. That's what the American Red Cross of Northern and Eastern Maine chapters did this morning in Brewer.
The 22nd annual Real Heroes Awards breakfast brought Red Cross volunteers and generous community members and leaders together. News Center's Clay Gordon hosted that event. Ordinary people doing extraordinary acts were awarded plaques and medals, including Elaine Wilcox of Fayette. She's a winner of the Good Samaritan Award for her volunteer work at her town library and serving on the school board.
Because I have the ability to do it. I've been a homemaker all my life and just, you know, had time. Time is important, and when you have time, spend it wisely.
The Red Cross Service to the Armed Forces Award went to Heather Audette of Brewer, and recognized for her work coordinating yellow ribbon events with the Air National Guard.
And this is a great time to remind you about our Red Cross Blood Drive that's coming up. The drive is happening a week from today, so that's Wednesday the 27th at 5 locations all across the state.
You can register and find out more information right now at our website and mobile app. Still to come tonight, we'll tell you what country is ranked the happiest on earth and where the U.S. falls on that list.
Is it near the top? Plus, do you use smart devices in your home, and are they spying on us? We'll verify.
I'm going to use that story after
You got to put that story back in, Sarah.
I caught it as I was reading it, and I was like, nah, there's no going back.
It's an interesting story. There's
we could just say
a second piece
lines. Yeah.
to it that was kind of interesting too. Which I would.
What do you guys think? Facebook. Which country do you think's the happiest? We have the answer, right?
We do.
We know.
I know. I can probably do the top 10, and tell you where the U.S. is.
Where's the U.S.? I want to know that.
10.
Not in the top 10.
No.
It's funny. I was just talking with somebody today about Europe, for example, and just the pace of life can be so different across the pond.
So top 10 Europe. It depends on what you think Europe is, because you know Europe can be.
Sure.
Okay. Sarah, you know you got to add that story back, right? Can we talk to Sarah? Hey, we're just making sure you know we teased that story, so I think you have to add it back in. Oh, okay.
Oh, perfect.
Got it. Got it. So where are we? Yeah. So anyway, just so Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Is far and away, like because like every one of the Scandinavian countries is in the top 10.
Interesting.
Yeah, every single one of them.
And does it say why? I mean, I know we're going to find out.
Yeah,
but
it talks a lot about, you know, it's funny because a lot of it is that they have universal health, and they have, you know,
incentives for
pay equity between men and women.
Sure. Paying for school.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, access to health care, you know, education.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and
okay, it's interesting.
Yeah, and Scandinavia is always way up there. So Finland is the top one. Denmark is 2, and Norway was 3, and Sweden was 5, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
and it's funny too because you might think the warmer climates might be like that, but they're all colder climates.
Right, and sometimes dreary.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say the only warm climate place in the top 10 was New Zealand.
Oh, that's interesting.
Although I guess they have a kind of a climate all over the place there.
We are surrounded by technology that's tracking every move we make. I know, it really is everywhere we look, every keystroke we type.
Yeah, and for the most part, it's designed to make our lives easier, right? But it can make us more vulnerable too. So our Verified team investigates tonight how much of this technology is sending personal information about us somewhere else, meaning essentially they're spying on us.
Adam Longo got answers from vetted experts. Here's what he found.
Hi, I'm Dave Levin, Assistant Professor of Computer Science at the University of Maryland. Welcome to Breakerspace. Come on in.
Okay, Google.
Dave, Adam Longo.
Hi, Adam.
Thanks so much for having us out here for this Verify segment. So we've got viewers who are asking us, they think their home devices are spying on them. So what's the 101 version? Are our home devices actually spying on us?
They're always listening, but they're not always talking back to the mothership. All of these devices, they have a trigger word. This device and the Google devices, it's, okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 12:26.
For Amazon Echo, it's, Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 12:26 p.m.
As soon as you say whatever the keyword is, that's when it immediately starts sending data back.
Professor Levin took us through a little experiment to answer that. Ultimately, we can verify no. Unless you say the trigger words, neither device was sending any information over the internet, back to Amazon, Google, or anywhere else.
So our final question was, how long does it listen? At what point does it finally give up and go, oh, okay, you weren't talking to me? For the Amazon Echo devices, it's about, not very long, it's about 11 seconds. It will listen in and eventually just realize, okay, you weren't talking to me, I'll give up. On these Google devices, it's a full minute.
Okay, playing WUSA 9 videos.
There's an endless list of home devices tied to the internet, smart light bulbs, smart TVs. We also wanted to know how secure our video devices are, like a Ring doorbell or your baby monitor.
And this is the challenge right now with these kinds of devices, is it's really hard to do your homework. We had to set up a lab to do this homework to understand the difference between what's secure and what isn't.
Everyone pretty much has heard of Ring, this video doorbell where you can check an app on your phone to see who's showing up. Is that somehow spying on you?
So we looked at, well, what's the data that it's sending? Is it sending it encrypted? And is it always sending it? What we found is that it's not always sending it. It's not always watching. It's not always listening. It activates based on motion, based on someone rings the doorbell.
But Ring is sending back that video unencrypted, which Levin says makes it slightly more vulnerable. So how about a video system for inside your home? The Google Nest camera. It sends your data encrypted, but it's always on.
It doesn't seem to ever stop. Once I started this up, it just, whether it was motion, whether the lights were out, I put a box over top of it and left the box there for a long period of time. It still kept recording, audio, video, streaming, all of it back to these Google servers.
Okay, so do we feel safer now?
I don't know. I'm not so sure.
I love ours. I really do.
do.
Yeah. You know, I haven't done anything that's reported me on yet, I guess. But I think it's really cool. But I'm not sure. I don't believe I'm being spied on.
Sure.
Anyway, that was Adam Longo reporting. Professor Lavin says there are no regulations, that every manufacturer has to do things their own way, Ken.
You'll have to dive deeper into that user manual to find out how your devices are sending information. Still to come tonight on Now, 7 women in Brunswick are making history learning how to fly.
Plus, is it officially spring yet? I think we're close. But we live in Maine, and you know, there's a nor'easter coming our way and all that. Jess Conley's going to have the details coming up.
I love it. And I think we're off to the newsroom.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da. Whoop. Perfect.
I'd like to learn how to fly. It's wicked expensive, though.
Oh, I know. So one of the women that I interviewed, her son's training in the military to become a pilot, and an uncle passed away, and their family left the son his plane.
Ooh.
So they inherited a plane.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And so the mom and dad were like, well, if our son can fly and has this plane, we should learn how to fly too. So they started taking lessons, and they needed to get the plane that was inherited from New Hampshire, but they couldn't go and get it themselves. So their flight instructors went and got it for them.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that cool?
I would love to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
We have a guy who lives just down the street from us, Eric Chuquette, who has a ton of land and actually has a landing strip and a hangar. He has like 4 planes.
On his property?
On his property, right.
That's crazy. So is it like noisy in your neighborhood? No.
No, but you always know when he's flying over, you know, because it's always him.
Sure. I remember the summer that they were looking for, when JFK Jr.'s plane went down and they were looking for him, it was so eerie because my family has a house near where the plane went down, and to hear those low-flying search planes coming overhead was really eerie.
What year was that?
I think that was 90, I want to say 99, but then I would also think maybe 97, right?
Where were you then?
I was in Massachusetts. I was almost in middle school. Almost. Actually, I don't know.
97.
I just read a book about this.
97,
yeah.
You make me feel old. You're only in middle school.
I know.
I'd already graduated college.
I know.
I was right here.
I was going to say, I think I was here, actually, in 95.
Party like it's 1995.
All right, March is Women's History Month, and there is a group of 7 women in Brunswick making history.
They all have their eyes to the sky, and soon enough they'll be up there flying too.
I'm becoming a pilot, finally, a little different than driving my car.
For one group of women, the place they like to hang out is at the hangar.
My grandfather and dad both have private pilot's licenses, so I've grown up around planes.
I think if you go up in a plane over Maine with a really good pilot, you can't help but fall in love with it.
And if they aren't here, they're in flight.
The small planes are just like a go-kart in the sky.
Or at their day job. Lisa Anderson is an OBGYN. She says her medical background lends well to her new training.
The fact that you can have extreme emergencies and that you need to follow protocols, I think I should be a really good pilot once I get everything down.
Anderson is one of 7 student pilots who are women at the American Classic Flying Club in Brunswick. They make up the majority of the ground school class, with 9 students total. An interesting ratio when you compare it to the national average. The Federal Aviation Administration says only 7% of all U.S. pilots are women.
It's always been a passion of mine. I've always been curious about it, and I guess some would say I'm a daredevil. I like to just, live on the edge and do all the fun things.
While it's not necessarily a career change for these women, flying has become a hobby they're passionate about. That's the case for Kate Dembski. Her son's currently in pilot training with the military.
My husband and I, we knew nothing of planes or what to do. We just know we raised a pilot.
A relative passed away, leaving the family a plane in his will. When her husband wanted to take lessons, she thought,
well, if I'm going to sit in that seat next to you, I want to learn how to fly.
And now she's here at the hangar.
Now that I'm meeting another group of women that are doing it with me, I have other friends now that I can share this with. So this has been a great adventure so far.
When you can take somebody up to fly, even if it's an introductory flight, and they come back and it's more than they expected it to be, and they've got a smile that they just can't get off their face, those are the things that we live for.
And those instructors really are pumped to give the gift of wings to people, all people who come and check out the club.
So were you there thinking, darn it, I wish I was in this class?
I still was very cautious and thought, they're brave. I give them a lot of credit. I don't know if I could do it. How about yourself?
I didn't have an interest when I was younger, but I really have an interest in learning how to fly now. I don't know why. My grandfather actually was the manager of the Caribou Airport for many, many years. And used to fly us around in those planes just like those.
Good memories.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll get to it one day. Oh,
you could,
I know.
You
It
could
would
try
have been
today.
perfect for today. Absolutely perfect.
Beautiful out there.
I know, it's so nice. Temperatures are nice. This is actually like where we usually are at this time of year. It's just been a little cooler lately, but our normal highs in the 40s, and that's where we were today. Not too bad. Right now, still 41 in Portland, 39 right now in Bangor. So it's nice. We're almost to spring. I think we have another like 45 minutes, and then we'll be officially in spring, so get ready to celebrate. 43 right now in Waterville. Mostly clear skies. It looks good. We do have a full moon coming tonight, so the clear skies will be good for that. It's a super moon too. We'll talk about it more in a second. But we of course are watching a couple storm systems on the way. We'll see them on Friday and into early Saturday too. But let's talk about tomorrow first. It looks pretty good. We will see clouds increase though very quickly. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Temperatures are much more mild, more comfortable tomorrow morning in the upper 20s and lower 30s. You can see those clouds though moving in pretty quickly. By tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be pretty nice again as far as the temperatures go, just like today, with still some breaks of sunshine out there. Partly to mostly cloudy skies during the day tomorrow. By tomorrow evening, still not too bad. We're still pretty close to 40 degrees. It's not until late tomorrow night and into the very early morning hours of Friday that we'll start to see precipitation move in. Look what's happening across northern Maine. They've already had over 150 inches of snow. They could get some more tomorrow night and through the day on Friday too. Pretty heavy rain for Friday morning, so be careful. It is going to be very heavy, it looks like, for the morning commute. That rain moves through. You can see at 9 o'clock, fairly steady in Waterville, over to Bangor, up to Calais too. And then we'll start to see more showery conditions as we go into Friday afternoon and evening. The mountains and higher elevations will see mainly snow. And as this system moves out of here, the back edge will pull around. Winds come from the northwest, and that's where all the cold air is. So some of us may get a coating of snow overnight into early Saturday morning. A couple snow showers, maybe a few rain showers on Saturday. As far as totals, this is what we're going with. Northern Maine in the mountains 3 to 6. Other than that, not a ton. A couple coatings possible closer to the coast, but I really think we're going to see mainly rain with this. Some wind though on the way. Look at the wind gusts on Friday morning. Could be gusting 40 to 45, maybe up to about 50 miles an hour on Friday. Still breezy too as we go through the day on Saturday. Check this out. Don't forget, tonight it's a full moon. It's a super moon. We call it the worm moon. Get ready. It's going to be nice and bright out there. Here's your extended forecast again. Tomorrow's not too bad, partly to mostly cloudy, then rainy and very windy for Friday. Still a few snow showers around for the day on Saturday. Temperatures aren't too bad either the next several days. Sunday though looks great. Going to be close to 50 at the coast, partly sunny skies. Then it gets a little cool again next week. Monday we're at 40. And back into the 30s, Tuesday and Wednesday. What's that about?
What is that about?
I don't know. I don't love it, but that's okay.
The worm moon.
Yeah, the worm moon.
Sounds
it's
like
springtime,
a character in a
worms.
children's book.
Yeah.
A bad one too.
Yeah.
The villain. Yeah.
Just thanks. Well, with that bright sunshine out there today and spring coming just in any minute now, that must be making you a bit happier, right?
Yeah, and even if it is, we have a long way to go apparently to be among the happiest humans, though. For the second year in a row, Finland has the distinction of being the happiest country. Here's the list compiled by the United Nations. The happiest folks, as I said, are in Finland. After that, it's a whole lot of Scandinavia. Denmark number 2, Norway number 3, Iceland 4, and the Netherlands coming in at 5.
6 though through 10, Switzerland, Sweden, New Zealand, Canada, and Austria. And where is the U.S., you ask? We come in at number 19, down 1 place from last year. The list takes into account income, recreation, life expectancy, and access to health care, among other things.
Yeah, okay, so if you're dying to see what's so happy and fun about Finland, you can actually enter a contest to rent a Finn, okay, which would allow you to go there for free and be paired up with a fun Finn guide. And if you're interested, you can go to the website Visit Finland.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, super interesting.
That is.
Yeah.
A day in the life.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's check in with Cindy to see what's coming up on News Center 530. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, guys. We have more on that case of the man from Maine who's accused of a brutal murder in Alaska more than 25 years ago. He was in court today facing extradition. Now, a DNA database helped connect him to the crime, but his attorney says a lot of information is not being shared with him. He's very concerned about that. Plus, it's been a slow demise for our box stores. Our Samantha Sugarman looks at how online shopping is, of course, playing a huge role in those stores' closures, but also what stores can do to stay relevant and go to places in today's world. Back to you.
All right, Cindy, thanks so much. Break out the tissues. You're going to need them for this reunion story. Up next. Cool. Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Maybe I should take my FB out.
You guys match perfectly today with the navy, or with the burgundy, yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. What's going on Facebook? Mary's getting her Powerball ticket. Yeah, very big jackpot. Fred, I'm sorry to hear about your ankle. Joe's got a countdown to spring going. Jess, you're getting some love for your spring dress. Okay, sounds good. Oh, Marco Island, Pam, is beautiful. Thanks for watching us while you're there. Go watch the sunset, though. It's so pretty there. Ellen's watching from Costa Rica. Wow.
Stand by.
The results are in for the most popular U.S. dog breed. For the 28th year in a row, Labrador Retrievers rank #1 on the list. Rounding out the top 5 are German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, French Bulldogs, and Bulldogs. Of course, this result probably comes as no surprise. Really, it's just an excuse to share cute dog pictures. And our viewers, of course, did not let us down today. Here are some of our favorite pup pics that we got. Erin says, of course, labs are the best. Lynn says, her 2 labs may look like angels, but they're a little more work than that. And Josh posted this adorable picture saying, labs are cool, but I'll take a golden 10 times out of 10. And lastly, Sarah posted this cute picture saying, how about rescuing all the amazing mixes out there? Thanks, you guys, for sending us those adorable pictures. And I agree about the rescues. Finally, tonight, we leave you with one of the most heartwarming welcome home videos we've seen.
Come on. Is that what we got?
Daddy?
You were such a big boy when I was going. I'm so proud of you.
9-year-old Lucas Esternio sparring during his Taekwondo class near Nashville last night. Staff Sergeant Rob Esternio spent 10 months serving in Jordan and southern Syria, coming home a few days earlier than Luca was expecting. Oh, so sweet. Gives me the goosebumps. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight on News Center Now. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts now. Do I have to switch shows for the prompter, or does it just queue up?